Ogerpon is a Pokemon with 4 distinct forms, each being used in different ways. The interesting thing is that all forms have the same stats, and the only difference is in the ability and the Tera form. Today, we'll be going over all Ogerpon forms and how/why they are used. So, let's get into it. We haven't talked about Tera forms yet on the channel, since only Ogerpon and Terapagos have them. What it is that when a Pokemon terastallizes, they gain a new appearance or form that changes their ability or increases their stats. In Ogerpon's case, it gains a new ability which boosts one of their stats every time they switch in. The boosted stat changes depending on the form. In the Grass form, you gain a speed boost. In the Water form, you gain a special defense boost. In the Rock form, you gain a defense boost. And in the Fire form, you gain an attack boost. At first glance, the only super helpful ones are the Fire form's attack boost and the Grass form's speed boost, but this actually isn't the case. While it's true that these boosts are helpful, it turns out that the Water form's boost is also really good. The Rock form's boost is fine, but the main physical attacker in the format, Urshifu, ignores the boost, and you make yourself weaker to Surging Strikes when you Tera into Rock rather than Grass. Not only this, but the Rock form's base ability is Sturdy, meaning that you get the least value out of Tera since you can already survive a hit guaranteed. Ogerpon Fire is the most offensive Ogerpon form, usually being used as something to nuke the opposing side. Its ability is Mold Breaker, which really isn't that helpful. Typically these Ogerpon run Ivy Cudgel, a Grass move, Follow Me, and Spiky Shield. Ogerpon has a very deep move pool, so the Grass move can be whatever fits your team best. Many teams like to have priority with Grassy Glide, but if you want pure damage, you could go with Wood Hammer. However, Wood Hammer has recoil and Horn Leech heals you, so the options are pretty extensive. Most Ogerpon run the same moveset, so I won't go over it again. Ogerpon Fire is pretty good on a lot of slower paced teams, like Terapagos and the setup Calyrex Shadow teams. It's also pretty good on Miraidon, since you can take advantage of the speed control set up by Whimsicott. Ogerpon Fire actually won Worlds on a Miraidon team. Ogerpon Water is a good middle ground between purely offensive and purely defensive. Its offensive typing is good but not great, and the same goes for its defensive typing. Ogerpon Water is usually used on balanced teams, as a flexible Pokemon that can fill both offense and support. Its base ability is Water Absorb, which is great as a switch-in for Urshifu. You can also threaten opponents out of clicking Surging Strikes because they know that you could switch it in anytime. Ogerpon Water is generally considered the best middle ground form. Ogerpon Rock is typically used as a redirection Pokemon. Its damage is respectable, and Rock is a good offensive type, but most players like to take advantage of its Sturdy ability, to redirect both attacks from your opponents and guarantee that your partner Pokemon takes no damage on its given turn. A lot of hard Trick Room teams like Ogerpon Rock, and some of the Choice Specs Terapagos teams like it too. Ogerpon Rock's Tera form gives it a defense boost, which is pretty much useless in most cases, since if you're going to be knocked out, you can survive a hit with Sturdy anyway. Finally, the base form of Ogerpon. Ogerpon Grass. Ogerpon Grass is the only form that actually considers running a different moveset, since it's not forced to hold a mask like the other forms. A lot of the time, players like running Loaded Dice with Bullet Seed, Encore, Follow Me, and Spiky Shield. Ogerpon Grass is probably the least used of all the forms, but it still is very threatening. In conclusion, Ogerpon is a really amazing Pokemon that can accomplish a lot by utilizing its many forms for different purposes. Thank you all for watching!